Business is an exercise in resilience and innovation, and the Caribbean region's future looks brighter than ever. It's time for medium, small, and micro enterprises to discover their fullest potential, and Caribbean Export is here to ramp up its support. We empower companies to innovate and adapt in this high-risk and competitive environment by delivering cutting-edge, high-impact, and targeted initiatives to enhance trade and promote growth. Working with MSMEs in 15 Caribbean countries to increase exports, attract investment, and create jobs. We've provided support to over 9,015 stakeholders, including providing technical assistance, business coaching, grant funding, and mentorship. You can access specialized export programs, trade intelligence, and information on financing from our Knowledge Hub. We work with you to get results. Increase sales, build and develop new products and services, export and expand into new markets, establish global networks and partnerships, transition businesses to the green economy and boost emerging sectors, drive regional integration to build resilience and sustainability in the Caribbean, and create more jobs and opportunities. Visit our website at carib-export.com and find out how you can be a part of building a resilient and transformative private sector in the Caribbean region.
Good evening. The Honourable Sandra Husbands, MP, Minister of State in the Ministry of Foreign Trade and Business Development for the Government of Barbados. Mr. David Mogollon, Head of Cooperation, Delegation of the European Union to Barbados, Eastern Caribbean, OECS, CARIFORUM and CARICOM. Dr. Lynette Holder, Chairperson for the Board of Directors with the Caribbean Export Development Agency. Ambassador Wayne McCook, CARICOM Single Market and External Trade. Mr. Deodat Maharaj, Executive Director, Caribbean Export Development Agency. Other representatives from the Diplomatic Corps, heads of agencies, members of the private sector, members of the business support organisations, my fellow colleagues from Caribbean Export, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, welcome this evening to the launch of the 2022 Annual Results Report for the Caribbean Export Development Agency. My name is Joellen Larrier. I am the Acting Manager for Advocacy and Partnerships and Reporting, and I will be your MC this evening. It's been a year since I was last here, and it's wonderful to be here once again. To be honest, we've been working quite assiduously, to say the least, striving forward to achieve our mission at Caribbean Export, and our mission, which is to provide, innovative, targeted initiatives that are, designed to enhance Caribbean business growth, sustainability, and jobs. And as our tagline right here behind me says, we are here to really build business, transform the lives for a resilient Caribbean. But I'm not going to say too much about that because I'm just the MC. And I'm going to leave that part to our Executive Director, Mr. Deodat Maharaj. And I'm going to invite him to the stage now to officially welcome you to the launch of the Caribbean Export 2022 Annual Results Report.
Thank you so much, Joellen. The Honourable Sandra Husbands, Dr. Lynette Holder, the Chairperson of our Board of Directors, Mr. David Mogollon, Ambassador Wayne McCook, my dear friend and brother, I expect Armstrong Alexis will be joining us soon, the Deputy Secretary General of CARICOM, representatives of the Diplomatic Corps, private sector representatives, members of the media, staff, friends and colleagues, a most pleasant good evening to you. I'm really delighted to be here at this small launch of our second annual results report. We at Caribbean Export fully understand the vital importance of demonstrating value for money, achieving impact, and our annual results report 2022 is an effort to do just that. For those of you who were here last year, I spoke about us as an agency with three main outcomes. One, a focus on results. The second outcome, Dr. Holder, results. And the third outcome, Minister Husbands, results. So for us, we get it. It's about results, results, and results. But before I get carried away and Joe Ellen begins to monitor me even more closely, I think I would like to offer some thanks to Dr. Lynette Holder, the chairperson of our board of directors, and our board of directors. Under Dr. Holder's leadership as the chair of our board and the board of directors, I think we are well on our way to transforming our agency, the way we work, and with an even more forensic focus on results. But Dr. Holder will have her say in a few minutes' time. I would also like to recognize and thank the European Union, David, for a long and enduring partnership, and it's a partnership that's both valued and deeply appreciated. And a special thanks to our investment promotion agencies, our business support organizations, the businesses with whom we have worked with over the last year and a half to 2 years, as well as partners who would have just come on board. Of course, none of this would have happened without our staff and the excellent work they have done in trying conditions. For example, our staff in Haiti, our staff in the Dominican Republic, and of course, our staff members here. I'm really happy to see members of our Caribbean Export family here with us this evening as we celebrate your work and your results. And I think the work and the results would have been fantastic. And you should take pride in your achievement. Now on to the annual results report 2022. I would just like to observe a few highlights. Firstly is our implementation rate. We in the Caribbean, we constantly make the case, and rightly so, on the importance of accessing concessional financing on favorable terms, given our climate vulnerability, given the fact that we are highly indebted. But at the same time, we must make use of the precious resources that we actually have. And Caribbean Export in 2022, our rate of program implementation was 89%. If not the highest of any regional institution in the Caribbean, certainly one of the highest. And we take pride in that. But at the same time, we want to do more. And we clearly understand what is critically important is to deliver results where they matter on the ground and in the lives of people. Secondly, I think we are at a critical crossroads in our region. And we have the option of focusing on business as usual or advancing a truly transformational agenda for our region, giving jobs and opportunity for our people. And that's why our 2021 to 2024 strategic plan is laser focused on sectors that can drive transformation. For example, we have 3 pillars. The first pillar is on investment promotion. But on investment promotion, we are focusing on getting investors to help achieve a green economy transition, which is a big imperative for us in the region, given our climate vulnerability. The second area for us in investment promotion is leveraging technology in agriculture, another big priority for our region, given our food insecurity. At the same time, we need our businesses to compete effectively, and therefore innovation, digitalization, and technology are absolutely critical areas where we must attract foreign direct investment. But we also recognize at Caribbean Export that we cannot do everything. And we are not a flavor of the month agency, moving from theme to theme based on financing or what is vogue at that moment. We believe the sectors that we have focused on can really help advance a transformational agenda for the region, and we intend to stay the course. On the investment side, we are particularly pleased last year to convene the inaugural Caribbean Investment Forum in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago. For Caribbean people, you may know or may not know that our investment forum or fora will be held in Miami, Toronto, New York, and other places. And for the first time, we had a Caribbean Investment Forum here in the Caribbean. And the response was overwhelming. We stopped registrations at 600 people. 90% were businesses from 46 countries. And why was that a successful model? Because what we did at Caribbean Export, we sought to create a platform for business, Minister Husbands, to engage with business, to create business. In essence, less talk and more business. Secondly, our export promotion work is helping our firms to access markets, including new ones. First, it's about building the capacity for businesses to access a premium market at a premium price with a premium product. Of course, we are particularly interested in helping firms in the areas of agtech, digitalization, and green economy transition, reinforcing our investment promotion work. The third area of focus is services as the next frontier for Caribbean business. Again, there's a strong focus on innovation, technology, and digitalization. This has already generated a range of products and new partners, enabling us to provide critical support to our businesses so that we are not left out of this digital age and we can effectively compete in the global marketplace. I just would like to flag the issue and the importance of gender. As you will see from the range of speakers and the testimonials, at Caribbean Export, we don't talk about gender. We actually do it. Easily, more than half of our beneficiaries are women, including from our Direct Assistance Grants program. This applies to our staff as well. So Damien and others, we are in a distinct minority, but I like that. Our leadership team is close to 40% with women. We want to do even more for women in business, and there's an ample opportunity for us to partner with you to achieve that. And I mentioned the word partner, so I must also speak about partnership. And I commended the European Union and David and the colleagues for the close partnership and that enduring relationship we have with the European Union. At the same time, we recognize that given the massive needs of our region, we need to bring new people and to have new partners on board. Given the fact that we have business and MSMEs account for 70% of the region's GDP, around 75% of the region's employment. So we have to support businesses more. And in this regard, I'm really delighted to let you know that we have forged a partnership with Republic Bank, the largest indigenous bank in the Caribbean, the Inter-American Development Bank, the Caribbean Development Bank, and Expertise France as partners. And just 2 months ago, we signed an MOU with CAF Bank as we seek to bring them on board as well. I'm delighted with yet another partnership we have established with Tecnalia and the Barcelona Business School from Spain and others, where together we have accessed a new program from the European Union of 5 million euros just for Caribbean businesses in the digital space in this pioneering EU-LAC Digital Accelerator Program. So first at Caribbean Export, it is about less talk, to be quite honest, and more action. I think it is really important to work in sync with regional institutions, and I've mentioned our close collaboration with the Caribbean Development Bank. I see my dear friend and brother Ian Durant is here from CDB. I'm a former staff member of CDB, and I take great pride in the work that they are doing and in the partnership that we have forged with them. Similarly, we have signed an MOU with CCRE, the Caribbean Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency, as we seek to make our businesses more energy efficient. And this is close to our work on the green economy transition. And working with the regional institutions, Ambassador Mokok, it's really critical because together we are stronger. I just want to flag one other issue which has to do with transparency. I understand the fact that taxpayers are funding our programs and they're funding my salary. And therefore, the imperative is to deliver value for money and for us to be accountable. And the ambition that we have at Caribbean Export, Minister Husbands, is to be the most transparent regional institution in this Caribbean of ours. So if you go to our website, carib-export.com, you will see our audit reports. And the commitment I'm making to you and the commitment we have made as an organization that all our audit reports, good, bad, indifferent, will be available for public consumption. That's the undertaking that we are making at Caribbean Export. Of course, I can go on, but Joellen's getting very impatient. So I need to end soon. But in closing, I need to once more recognize my staff for the great results they have generated. I'm proud to serve with them. I would also like to thank our team, Joellen and the colleagues, for the wonderful work done in making this event happen, to our partners in the European Union, David, and to those who have recently joined us in this journey to build a more resilient Caribbean. Thank you so much. Honorable Minister, Excellencies, Dr. Holder, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for coming. But Joellen, my final words are just to assure you that we at Caribbean Export will continue to strive for excellence and deliver value for money with a forensic focus on, Dr. Holder, results, results, and results. Thank you ever so much.
Thank you very much, Deodat. And as he says, we're not about talk, we're all about action, so I'm going to keep it short, okay? Some of you may be aware that Caribbean Export has been around since about 1996, so quite a long time. And we're governed by an intergovernmental agreement, and we have a board of directors, of which Dr. Holder is our chairperson of the board. Now, as you may have heard, we're currently implementing the 11th EDF Regional Private Sector Development Programme as well, which is funded by the European Union. And as you can see, it's the 11th one. And we've been implementing them for quite some time. And so, you know, we've impacted a number of businesses from across the region. We have a few of them here this evening, so please do take the time to have a look at those. We have Native Organics, we have Wyndham's Coffee, we also have Superb Blend, and there's even an electric car outside from Megapower, who are also one of our beneficiaries. But I'm going to leave it just there, and I'm going to invite our chairperson of the Board of Directors, Dr. Lynette Holder, to give her remarks.
It seems like just yesterday we were here for our inaugural results report launch, isn't it? I'm told that my speech back then was a little too long. So I give the assurance this evening that I will correct on that. I'm told that a good speech should be like a woman's skirt, long enough to cover the subject matter and short enough to create interest. So I'm going to abide by that concept. The Honorable Minister Husbands, Minister in the Ministry of Foreign Trade, my colleague David from the European Union here in Barbados, Head of Cooperation, other members of the Diplomatic Corps, Executive Director and Management and Staff of Caribbean Export, partners, exhibitors, the press, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Now, on behalf of CEDA, I am very pleased to welcome you to the agency's second annual results report event, where we will highlight this evening some of our accomplishments for 2022 under the 11th European Development Fund's Regional Private Sector Program. With vision, teamwork, and innovation, Caribbean Export has remained the nexus of private sector development throughout the region. With the lingering economic fragility as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, mobilizing high-impact capital and providing innovations and new technologies can help the region rebuild, and this is a central theme for the agency. Now, in 2022, as the agency ramped up implementation of its strategic plan 2021 to 2024, we rolled out a complement of some 47 interventions, impacting over 1,000 stakeholders from within our 15 member states. This is the CARIFORUM region, including private sector firms, business support organizations, and investment promotion agencies. Now, one of the agency's major objectives for 2022 in its strategic plan is to market the Caribbean as the premier destination for investment. You may have heard Deodat mention some of this, so forgive me if I, just for emphasis, recall a few points. The launch of the inaugural and landmark Caribbean Investment Forum last year laid the groundwork towards making this a reality. And through our partnerships at both the public and private sector levels, we've been able to bring together 535 representatives to network and develop meaningful relationships and connections. The Caribbean Investment Forum was an overwhelming success, with participation from 46 countries, you heard that before. And at the event, 11 countries had the ability to pitch their projects to investors in the areas of agri-tech, renewable energy, and the like. There were over 272 business-to-business meetings, clearly demonstrating the need to continue to provide a platform for business to engage with business. And going forward, getting investments to our region will continue to be a high priority for the agency, and I'm pleased to indicate that the next investment forum is being planned for October of this year in the Bahamas. Absent of external investment, the economies of the Caribbean face several challenges, such as a lack of economies of scale in production of goods and services, aggravated by narrow internal markets and scarce financial resources. For this reason, more emphasis should be placed on building export capacity and facilitating trade. Now, as laid out in our strategic plan, Caribbean Export remains committed to improving the capacity of private sector firms and the market access for export-ready products and services to grow exports from the region to the international community. In 2022, we facilitated the participation of 50 private sector firms at international trade shows. These events provided the perfect opportunity for SMEs to network and build partnerships, strengthen their brand, form contracts, and generate sales. In this final year of implementing the Regional Private Sector Program, our Board of Directors recognized the importance for Caribbean Export to consolidate our existing partnerships while forging new connections and relationships with other international development partners. On this topic, I would like to personally thank the European Union for its unwavering support to the agency and towards the continued economic development of the Caribbean. I would also like to commend the Executive Director and the team for their proactive approach in forging new partnerships. I'm pleased to report that over the last 2 years, the agency has established a range of new partnerships, including financial ones, such as with the Caribbean Development Bank, the Inter-American Development Bank, Expertise France, Republic Bank, as was mentioned before, in the Caribbean Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency. Just in February of this year, the agency signed an MOU with the CAF Bank that will lay the foundation for another strong partnership. I would like to commend the organization for also bringing to the region an additional 5 million euros, as was mentioned, via an innovative partnership known as the EU Latin American Caribbean Digital Accelerator Program, which will provide direct support to our businesses in the area of digitalization and technology. And when the calls go out and the projects are announced, we are really hoping that our private sector will galvanize their projects to access these resources. As chair of the board of directors, I must also comment on the issue of governance. It would be remiss of me as a governance professional myself if I didn't. And over the last 2 years, I am proud to say that we have restored good governance to Caribbean Export. The board of directors is fully engaged and meets as envisioned by the intergovernmental agreement establishing the organization. The fully reconstituted executive committee of the board has now been fully reestablished after a hiatus of over a decade. Program steering committees are now taking place as scheduled, providing the overall guidance to the agency. In closing, let me again congratulate the executive director, management, and staff of CEDA for what has been a transformative year. And we are here again to give the report in this launch. A strong foundation has been built, and Caribbean Export has an exciting future ahead. Looking forward, the board is confident that the agency will remain the key partner of choice for our private sector clients in developing and providing timely, relevant, and innovative support aligned to both the present and future needs of our members. Now, I would ask you as I close, why do you think the public speaker got a standing ovation when he was finished? Because he finally stopped talking. Please stay in your seats. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Holder. As you would have heard, there's been quite a lot of activity that's taken place at Caribbean Export. Even as much as today, we hosted a workshop with Export Barbados. We had a contingent of about 24 businesses that participated in our ProNet Export, ProNet product marketing and product development ProNet program. In fact, we have our master trainer, Mr. Ramesh Ramdeen, who was our trainer for that course, who's with us this evening. But as I mentioned, Dr. Holder highlighted a few of the results that we have achieved over the last year. The publication is here for you to take this evening, and it will be available for download on our website. But we do have a short video which goes into a little bit of the detail around the results that has been achieved by the staff at Caribbean Export over the past 12 months. So please take a look.
At the core of Caribbean Export's work is supporting businesses to transition from national to regional and international businesses. Focusing on export development, investment, and supporting the services sector, Caribbean Export has worked hard to deliver results and achieve its objectives. In 2022, Caribbean Export, together with the European Union, supported over 1,000 stakeholders from across the Caribbean to leverage the agency's 47 programs and activities implemented throughout the year. Our integrated approach to capacity building saw 452 people from small businesses and BSOs close their knowledge gaps through specialized training programs, business coaching, and mentorship in areas including trade agreements, export market intelligence, export strategies, and competitiveness. We also supported companies to penetrate new markets by presenting their products and services at international trade shows such as the Specialty and Fine Food Fair in London, Cial Paris, Salon du Chocolat, also in Paris, Hub Camara in Santo Domingo, Autumn Fair Moda in Birmingham, Annecy Animation Festival in Paris, and we hosted the Caribbean Rhythm Showcase in Jamaica. Between these events, over 528 business-to-business meetings were conducted, generating leads and opportunities for Caribbean businesses to export and grow. A further 260 business-to-business meetings were held at the Caribbean Investment Forum, where we welcomed 535 delegates from 46 countries to Trinidad and Tobago in November 2022. Caribbean Export dispersed over $2 million in grant funding to businesses and assessed the impact of the grant programs. What has been the result? Absolutely Caribbean products broke into new markets, with Barbadian sauces now available in the UK, Haitian cocoa products in Israel, and Belizean sauces in the Dominican Republic. Tech companies forged new global partnerships, increased revenue, and hired more staff to support their growing businesses. 8 Caribbean animators collaborated to create Carib Folk Noir, a compilation of short films attracting international production and distribution. Caribbean musicians showcased their talent in Nashville, Tennessee, New York, and on Broadway, taking Caribbean culture to the world. As our companies continue to build their capacity and export to new markets, Caribbean Export developed more partnerships to support the economic transformation of our region. Working together, we are striving to achieve the 2030 agenda, whilst building a greener, smarter, more resilient Caribbean.
So as you can see, there was quite a lot that has taken place. And I think it was very eloquently put by one of our staff members, Deirdre Brathwaite. Deirdre? Whilst we're talking about what's happened in the past year, but we all know that business takes time, it takes investment. And things don't just happen overnight or in the 12 months. It takes continuous hard work by our business owners, by those people that are actually going in day in and day out and ensuring that their staff have a job to come to. And that's really what it's about. As I would have mentioned, we have a few of the companies here with us this evening, and I would like to invite one of the businesses that has been leveraging the support from Caribbean Export, O's Barbados, manufacturers of gluten-free products and flowers. So I'd like to invite Sabrina Walcott to come up and just share with us a bit about your experience and how you've been able to leverage some of the support from Caribbean Export.
It is said that it takes a village to raise a child, but that can also be said for a business. My name is Sabrina Walcott, and this evening I am speaking on behalf of O's Incorporated. O's Incorporated is an agro-processing company which manufactures gluten-free alternative flours and mixes, as well as virgin coconut oil. Our products are made from coconut, cassava, bright fruit, sweet potato, plantain. Theophilia Luzian-Stout, my friend, my shiro, my mom, is the founder of O's Incorporated. She started her business in a kitchen at home, and at that time she only produced 4 products. And what was an extra stream of income to fund my younger sister's tuition at UWI Cave Hill? After she lost her job, this small business became the tool for survival. She's not only brilliant, but she's very tenacious. And I don't know how it happened, but we linked with Caribbean Export, and that was in 2015. We did many training with IFI and ITC, and also e-commerce training. We participated in a lot of trade shows within the region to as far as Germany. We attended many seminars and webinars. We attended trade fairs in person and virtually. And we also attended many workshops. Our favorite workshop was the Green to Compete. It was well organized and it was bursting at the seams with a lot of information. We learned the importance of conserving energy, using solar and green energy within the workplace. We also network with other businesses and also with financial institutions. It was a very good workshop. Because of Caribbean Export, we have ventured into areas in our business which we probably would not have looked at. We have gained so much knowledge and experience with each trade show and workshop that we attended. What started in the kitchen is now a company operating in a factory tailored to our own needs. We open our doors to schools and camps so that children can have the opportunity to tour our facilities, so that these young minds could soak up the process of taking a staple such as cassava and transforming it into many foods, like kasrep, pancake mixes, and even smoothies. A village of different entities of different businesses which supported O's Incorporated, whether it be financially or through advice and mentorship and guidance. This village surrounded us and supported us. These entities were created or connected to O's Incorporated through Caribbean Export. Caribbean Export is an important part of our village. Caribbean Export, you have helped us to grow. You have helped us stretch beyond what we thought we were capable of. We know our value, and we are striving for excellence, and we understand the assignment. It's about results. The stars is just a journey. Myself and O's Incorporated truly appreciate each member of Caribbean Export, and we want to say thank you.
Thank you very much, Sabrina. I think, as you say, since 2015, you guys have been on a journey, and it's great to see the success of that journey. And we wish you all the best of success moving forward with that. It's interesting that you also mentioned that one of your favorite workshops was the Green to Compete, and really understanding how you can leverage the opportunity from renewable energy and so forth. And the reason why I say that is because, as I would have mentioned, we have Mega Power who are here as well this evening. One of their electric cars is just outside, so please do take a look. And that's an organization that we also worked with since, I think it was 2013. So I think, yes, it's their 10-year anniversary coming up. And they've grown from 3 employees to 18 employees in this time, and really created a marketplace for the electric vehicle, and really opened up opportunities for people, not only just in selling cars, but the engineers, the technicians, and so forth. So it's great. The ripple effect that it has on the community is fantastic. But as you know, we're not just in Barbados, we are across the region. And so we've got a short video to introduce you to some of our companies from across the region and hear what they have to say as well.
Hemos tenido la oportunidad de participar en diferentes programas de apoyo, tales como la participación en ferias internacionales, como la Feria Internacional de La Habana, la Feria en Trinidad y Tobago, la Feria en Barbados, la Misión Comercial en Jamaica y el programa We Export, que fue diseñado especialmente para mujeres emprendedoras del Caribe con visión exportadora.
Working with Caribbean Export has made a big difference in our company. We have international recognition, from winning new product awards all the way to having chefs try out our products. And that's what we're really keen on doing, is producing our unique turmeric paste, our key item, and exporting to more countries around the world.
The most effective programs also have been the trade shows. Both Anuga and CL were very effective in that we received immense exposure to new clients, not only in our booth, but by being able to visit other booths and meet potential customers, see new products, and get ideas for new packaging.
Over the years, we have been participating in several programs that were conducted by Caribbean Export. The first one was the Investment Readiness Grant that we used to become investor ready, and we secured angel investment through First Angels Jamaica. We also participated in the DAGS grant, which also helped us to create new additional products and support our marketing efforts.
We have been able to participate in several programs. The first one was the participation with other Caribbean creator designer at the Houghton Firm in Birmingham. After that, we have been able to participate in the Moda Dominicana. It was for the binational program.
We have opened our doors to many schools. They are given the opportunity to tour the facility, and these young minds get to sew up the process of taking raw foods like cassava and transforming it into many other foods.
We are a very female and youth-orientated company. We employ 20 Belizeans. Of those, 17 are women. Several are of indigenous Maya descent. Environmentally and locally, we don't use plastic straws. All our farmers are organic farming practices, and we work with the local schools, for sports, presentations and programs.
I can say that Nalido has had a really strong impact on our community here in Toledo. We buy all the turmeric from over 350 small-scale growers. We buy all our products as much as possible in Belize, and we work with indigenous peoples like the Maya. About 80% of our turmeric is grown by the Maya. For every 1,000 pounds we buy of turmeric, 10 trees are planted. No water is used in the farming of turmeric, so they rely on rainwater. No chemicals, no pesticides or herbicides. So it's a positive impact on community and the environment.
I'd like to thank Caribbean Export and all the EU support received through them for their assistance and coordination of these programs. For without them, it would be impossible for any one of us to attend these shows alone. But together as a group, with CEDA's help, we can be seen as serious international companies ready to do business. Thank you for everything you do.
O's Incorporated has grew a lot with the support of Caribbean Export and has ventured into areas of our business that we probably wouldn't have without the direction and guidance of Caribbean Export.
When we did the Germany trade show, we had orders coming in on our website from Italy, Germany, of course, France, Netherlands, and Belgium. So I would say it's a great experience. I've never gotten orders from those countries before, and it was directly from being a part of the trade show. So I would encourage any entrepreneur that wants to engage Caribbean Export. They're a phenomenal organization, and they'll literally hold your hand and help you as you scale your exports and build your business.
So as you can see, the impact that has been made across the region, and it doesn't happen without hard work, and that's hard work from the staff of Caribbean Export. And so I'd actually like to invite Deodat Maharaj and our chairperson, Dr. Holder, to come onto the stage so we can recognize some of the staff contributions.
Yeah, thank you so much, Joellen. I mean, we have a fantastic team at Caribbean Export, and over the last 2 years, we have put in place a performance management system. My chairperson, Dr. Holder, would have it no other way, I'm sure, and she always preaches to me, Deodat, you can't manage what you cannot measure. And therefore, performance management is an integral part of this new Caribbean Export and how we work. I mean, we had quite a robust overview in terms of our performance, development of work plans, midterm review. Then we get together as a management team to review performance of every single staff member of our agency. And overall, I think, as you would have seen from the results, I mean, we have a phenomenal team, but there are 3 staff members who really perform at an outstanding level. And we would want to use this opportunity to recognize their contribution to the agency across this CARIFORUM region of ours. And the first staff member I would like to recognize for outstanding performance is Michaela Stout. Michaela? Hi, Joey. And Michaela will get this plaque, but we also use corporate credit cards, Minister Husbands, for legitimate transactions. Remember, all our audit reports are online for public consumption. So Michaela will get a plaque, but we're also using miles earned because of the credit card. So Michaela will get a ticket for herself. She'll have to pay for anybody else to go to a place of her choice up to North America, return. So congratulations, Michaela. The second person we would like to recognize for outstanding performance in 2022 is Dr. Demi Sinanan. Demi? Now, Demi, we would like to congratulate Demi, and now Demi has to buy an additional ticket or tickets for his entire family. So it's an expense rather than a reward, but we wanted to recognize his outstanding performance. And the third colleague, come on, let's give Demi a clap. And the third colleague who had an outstanding performance assessed by the performance review group is Veronica Henry. Veronica, please come up. I need to join in the picture?
I'll stay in the center.
You know, I made a comment on gender, but not only are we recruiting women, supporting women businesses, the majority of the recipients also are women. So we are recognizing the contribution of our female staff members. So this is just a short ceremony, but I think based on the amount of work that we have done as an agency, the performance of these colleagues, I thought it was appropriate to recognize them in this public forum. So please join me in congratulating them once more.
Fantastic, and congratulations to all of you. Now, moving on our agenda, I'd like to invite our long-standing partner, somebody that's been with us since the beginning, the European Union. So I would like to invite Mr. David Mogollon, Head of Cooperation for the Delegation of the European Union, to come and give his remarks.
Honorable Sandra Husband, Minister in the Ministry of Foreign Trade in the Government of Barbados, Dr. Lynette Holder, Chairperson, Caribbean Export Board of Directors, Mr. and friend Deodat Maharaj, Executive Director of Caribbean Export, are you there? Yeah. Armstrong Alexis, Deputy Secretary General of CARICOM, and members of the diplomatic community. Let me say that the videos we just saw and the testimonies on the companies that have been supported by Caribbean Export, I can also replicate this perception that we all got, I guess, when 3 weeks ago I was in St. Kitts and Nevis, we had the opportunity to visit a couple of companies that had been, small businesses that had received the support of Caribbean Export, and we were really impressed and moved by the stories and by the progress we saw on their performance and their reach or the outreach they were able to take through the Caribbean Export. So congratulations. Let me start by thanking you for giving me the opportunity to say a few words on this event today. The European Union has been, and I think it has been recognized broadly today, a good and loyal partner of the Caribbean Export Development Agency since its creation more than 20 years ago. We have been there year after year, supporting the efforts of the agency to drive the Caribbean economic transformation through private sector development. Financially, the European Union has provided over 50 million euros, that is around 110 Barbados dollars, since the creation of the agency. But the European Union, beyond the Caribbean private sector development program, has been supporting the agency through a wide range of facilities and programs that we have and that we put at our disposal, of the partner countries. We do this in coordination with other partners, such as Germany, France, Belgium, or UK. For instance, let me mention the Investment Climate Reform Facility or the Business ACP Facility, both focusing on improving the environment for the doing business. The Interreg project to enhance trade for the Eastern Caribbean, or the Direct, it's called Direct, the project that focuses on providing digital response for connecting citizens. But recently, as it has been mentioned already, Caribbean Export and the EU are also partnering to implement an exciting component of the EU-LAC Digital Alliance. What is the accelerator together with Tecnalia that will contribute to the digital transformation of the Latin American and Caribbean region by accelerating multi-stakeholder and private sector collaboration in both sides of the ocean. Focusing now on the regional private sector development program, the annual results of which are being presented here today, the EU has invested over 27.5 million in grants, million euros. This program has been instrumental in supporting the implementation of the CARIFORUM EU Economic Partnership Agreement, EPA, which as you all know, or you might know, it is not just a trade agreement for goods. It goes deeper, also including trade of services, investments, trade-related aspects such as government procurement or international or intellectual property rights, etc. And what it is very relevant for us, it includes as well development. I think we can say that the EPA is one of the most comprehensive trade agreements that have been signed or endorsed by the European Union. It really goes much beyond the traditional free trade agreement. We know that, and I know that the Minister husband knows very well that there are limitations, but at the same time, I really believe without EPA, it would be very difficult for many countries like Barbados to have access to have free trade access to the European single market. So I think we have to put it in that perspective. And we know that many companies have some challenges to access the European market. We were just before discussing about that with a colleague from Wyndham's Coffee. But we also have in parallel programs to support these companies to be able to address those challenges that go from SPS issues to intellectual property to many other elements that we are trying to address in complement to the IPA. But the program with Caribbean Export has been also the key to build private sector capacity at the firm level, to strengthen business support organizations, BSOs, and to strengthen regional mechanisms to develop a more effective business enabling environment. In addition, let me mention that this program by itself represents around 90% of the total budget, I think now it's a little bit lower, of the Caribbean export. And let me congratulate the efforts from Caribbean Export on the last months to try to diversify the sources of support in order to ensure as well as sustainability of the operations of Caribbean Export. I know very much there are important efforts to involve other international partners and to also make sure that the share of the members, the country members of the Caribbean Export is being increased and the commitments are being fulfilled. I think that's very important to ensure that there is a proper sustainability of the organization. But our long-standing partnership with Caribbean Export goes beyond numbers. Together, we have been working hand in hand in supporting small and medium-sized enterprises to become more competitive, more diversified, and more resilient to current challenges. Together, we have navigated the turbulent waters during the COVID pandemic, where we added an additional 3.5 million euros to channel grants directly to MSMEs when they needed it the most. As a result, over 63 MSMEs benefited from non-reimbursable grants. We intend to continue working together through these years to bring economic growth, job creation, and social inclusion to the region by focusing strongly on the region's digital transformation and green transition in order to improve competitiveness and open new markets. The EU market is open for business from the Caribbean. And with the Economic Partnership Agreement that I just mentioned, the conditions are there to make sure we make the best out of it. And to this end, I'm glad to inform you that recently, the EU very recently has approved a new regional program for the Caribbean to support private sector development in the region and with the Caribbean Export as a partner. Once again, the EU and Caribbean Export will join efforts to support sustainable and inclusive economic growth and job creation in this region, with a clear focus on green transformation, digital transformation, and supporting SMEs' access to the EU market. Intense 4 years of work are ahead of us, but we are not lacking neither the knowledge, neither the enthusiasm, nor the enthusiasm to tackle them. This support through Caribbean Export is one more component or one more element of a much wider support of the European Union to the region in related areas. Let me share some of the elements that we are contributed with through the EU-Caribbean Partnership. Investments, Deodat mentioned before, the Caribbean Investment Forum, etc., and the need to attract investments to the region. We believe the investments from European companies can be considered as quality investment that ensure sustainability and respect to environment and social concerns. Considering that in July there will be an EU CELAC summit, one of the elements that are going to be presented there is the Global Gateway Investment Agenda. This agenda intends to bring to the Caribbean potential European investments in key sectors that are the priority of our partner countries. And we are initiating right now a dialogue with each of our partner countries to make sure that we understood correctly what are their priorities, and we are able to deliver in a comprehensive way to those investments. Those investments priorities are not about bringing the European sector companies here. It's about making sure that we can provide a comprehensive package with support to the enabling environment, being regulatory frameworks, being technical assistance or capacity building of the key institutions, being a number of issues, or maybe linking to potential access to finance, mobilizing guarantees, bringing European expertise, et cetera, to make sure that we can provide an added value to those investment priorities in the region. But we also work on other issues, on other areas. We are trying to improve with new programs to come in the coming months or years, the business environment. We are trying to work on facilitating, as I said, access to the European market for local companies with other instruments beyond the support to Caribbean export. We're working on digitalization, as we have already mentioned, through different programs, not only the Digital Alliance that was mentioned, but also digital finance and others. We are working with CDB, EIB, and other IFIs through guarantees and also sometimes blending to try to de-risk the investments of the private sector, knowing the importance of de-risking investments in this region. We are supporting the green transition of companies, but also of countries. And we are also trying to bring the expertise of the EU member states to the region in areas that are key, and considering that we count on 27 EU member states with 27 different experiences and paths in different sectors. Let me put a very concrete example. In the coming months, we will be bringing some European officials to make a workshop together with the Caribbean Private Sector Organization of CARICOM because they requested our support on SMEs regulation or regulatory frameworks around our single market as a reference or as an example on what could be done in this part of the world. This is an example that is replicated and can be replicated in a number of areas. But colleagues, partners, friends, allow me to use this opportunity to thank Caribbean Export for its strong commitment and work to promote investment and trade in the Caribbean and with the European Union, and for its clear focus on the long-term prosperity for the Caribbean region and its citizens. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, David Mogollon, for your kind words. You know, as you say, it's always good to have a great partner that's, as you say, been supporting us for quite a long time with Caribbean Export. And it's, well, as you can see, I'm from the UK, was part of the European Union, but we'll just leave that one there. So it's always been great to see, you know, more and more of Caribbean products moving into that direction, because when I go and visit home, there's a little piece of the other home to be able to take it up. Armstrong Alexis, Deputy Secretary General for CARICOM, welcome as well. I know we've heard quite a lot this evening, and we have seen, we've heard from some of the beneficiaries and so forth, but we, as you say, we leave the best to last, right? And I would like to invite the Honourable Sandra Husbands, MP, Minister of State, in Minister of State in the Foreign Trade and Business Development Ministry for the Government of Barbados, to come and give her remarks, her feature address for us this evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Master of Ceremonies. Mr. David McGollan, Head of Cooperation, Delegation of the European Union to Barbados, Dr. Lynette Holder, Chairperson, Caribbean Export Board of Directors, Ambassador Wayne McCook, CARICOM Single Market and External Trade, Mr. Deodat Maharaj, Executive Director, Caribbean Export Development Agency, other representatives of the Diplomatic Corps, heads of institutions and representatives of the CARIFORUM Business Support Organizations, private sector representatives, members of the media. Good evening to all. It has pleased me so much to be here, to hear this report. This is my second time. And again, results, results, results. In celebrating your achievements that you've made in the area of private sector development over the past year is pleasing simply because it is so important to the growth and the development of this region. If we are unable to build our exports, expand our enterprises, get our goods into other countries, we will never be able to stabilize employment, foreign exchange earnings, and guarantee the citizens of this region a decent life, because government is able to make revenues from the taxation that emerges from successful enterprises. Therefore, the tremendous work being done by the Caribbean Export Promotion Agency, the partnership with the European Union, all of these things are vital to the well-being of this region. And I really want to encourage all of us to take fullest advantage of all of the services and supports that are being offered, because at the end of the day, this is how we're going to help ourselves to be able to live our best lives. I really want to congratulate you on your continued success and sharing the results that you have in the form of this annual report survey. This is important because accountability is critical. People need to know if you've accomplished what you said you would, if you've handled their resources to produce the results that are meaningful to them. As the leading agency that drives Caribbean economic transformation through private sector development, with a mission of providing innovative, targeted initiatives designed to enhance Caribbean business growth, sustainability, and job creation, your role is absolutely critical. The continued commitment and support of the European Union and other countries and agencies has also been critical in financing as well as advancing the agency's project agenda. The Caribbean region is made up of countries, each one with something different to offer. However, we all share common unique characteristics, including our vulnerability. As a series of countries with different relationships which bind us together, whether it's the Caribbean Community, the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, or relations under the CARIFORUM Dominican Free Trade Agreement, there's a lot more that can be done to boost interregional trade in the area of both goods and services. And believe me, we had a long discussion just today on how we're going to try to boost interregional trade. So important to the growth and development of our region. Our internal trade volumes fall well below what obtains in other trading blocs. I believe it is at 18%, and other trading blocs are doing 60%. That means we have a lot of work to do as a region, and therefore we have to continue to work hard in all of our regional institutions to help develop regional trade. While we accept that there are challenges in the area of transportation, limited resources, the cost of production and scale in some jurisdictions, I am convinced that by leveraging our collective resources and by advancing efforts at deepening integration in the various existing arrangements, the trading situation can be increased as we seek to surpass pre-pandemic levels in terms of trade in both goods and services. Each country has to play its part. And I want to make a plug for the work that CARICOM is doing in relation to the establishment of the SIMSUPRO, which is a portal that will allow our private sector producers to be able to showcase their goods to others across the region to be able to boost trade. This is something that is being worked on even as we speak, and we need to be able to use it to help us to do trade. Like other countries, the government in Barbados recognizes that the only way for enterprises to grow and develop is through the increased production and exportation of goods and services. Through its partners and support organizations, we continue to chart a path for our local businesses to build economic strength, and doing so in a sustainable manner, all the while navigating the network of new and existing barriers to trade. The cost of financing the transformation agenda of the private sector in the Caribbean outstrips the resources which are currently available. We must now find new and innovative solutions to these old and new challenges. How are we going to transform the current paradigm as we continue to serve the needs to a growing private sector community is a question which we must answer urgently. Barbados remains committed to supporting the transformation agenda of the agency, having benefited from over 89 interventions supporting 1,461 private sector stakeholders. These targeted and strategically designed interventions focused on addressing knowledge gaps and creating a bridge between the Caribbean and global markets. You have no idea how pleased I was to hear how many of the clients of this agency have been able to get exposures in markets across Europe and other places within the Caribbean. Kudos to you and congratulations to the team that works so hard to make this happen, and to our partners who also helped to make it possible. The agency's commitment to promoting equitable financing opportunities for MSMEs remains vital in our efforts in facilitating the development of our regional economies. I really would like to thank the Caribbean Export Development Agency for their work in supporting the export development of Barbadian private sector firms and championing greater trade facilitation between the region and the international community as we work together to transform to a smarter, greener, more resilient Caribbean. I want to make an appeal to the entrepreneurs across Barbados. I know we've come from a long history of being risk-averse. I know we've come from a long history where we found it difficult to trust others with our ideas. And so very often we have hidden them in our minds or hidden them in our backyards for fear that others might steal them or take them away. And one of the things that I want to extend to every single person with an idea, we have created so many agencies, so many groups whose responsibility is to assist our private sector entrepreneurs, or new entrepreneurs who want to take an idea and take it to an enterprise. And we want to urge you to avail yourself of the assistance that you can get from all of these agencies, including Caribbean Export, and make good use of it, that the wonderful innovation and creativity that God has given us can find a place on this planet to be showcased, to be able to win global attention, and to be able to grow our nations. In closing, let me commend the Executive Director, the Board, and the team at Caribbean Export on the outstanding results achieved over the last year and for providing the innovative programming which will guide and support the export growth, development, and diversification of Caribbean economies. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to congratulate now Caribbean Export Development Agency on a year of good results, a year of work that was very well done.
Thank you very much, Minister Husbands. I think your words spoke for themselves, obviously. I mean, the words of encouragement to the small businesses out there, I mean, we all have our part to play, and we can only just do our best to really strive forward and leverage the support that has been offered by the various organisations across the region, because they're there for you. They're there for you to really leverage and make the most of it. So we have come to the end of our program as such. As I would have mentioned, we do have our exhibitors that are here. Please do also look for the electric vehicle which is parked outside. But before we go, I would just like to thank each and every one of our speakers this evening. Dr. Holder, thank you very much for your words of encouragement and also your stewardship for the agency. Mr. Deodat Maharaj, I think obviously the difference that has been made with you as the leading the organisation over the last, is it 2 years now? 2 to 3 years, has been phenomenal, and your commitment to this transformational agenda, I think it's quite clear that this is something that you're going to make happen, right? And you're taking us all along with you. David Mogollon, once again, obviously without the European Union, quite frankly, we wouldn't be standing here today. And whilst we are looking to diversify, I say diversify, looking for additional partners, bring partners that are aligned with us, aligned with our vision, quite simply, we wouldn't be here without the support of the European Union. And of course, thank you to Sabrina Walcott for sharing the O story with us. It was quite, not quite, it was very interesting to see how you've been able to leverage the support over the years and to create all of those products, and obviously to Theothelia, who I see at the back there. So thank you very much. As I say, I invite you all to have a look at the products that are there and enjoy the rest of the evening and interaction with one another. Thank you very much indeed.